Welcome everyone back to Beat the Game, and it's time for another aspect strategy video. And for the second video, what we're going to talk about is attack matters. So what does that mean? What is attack matters? What does it do, or what does it entail? Well, this means that the higher your attack value, your basic attack value is, the better your cards will perform. So we're looking at, being able to do like high amounts of damage. Now, in this strategy, here's the ups of this is a new strategy that just came out with the Valkyrie pack, because before that, this strategy was not even, it wasn't viable. It wasn't good. This is something new that came out with the new cards in the Valkyrie pack. The best defense, the new card with which is called problems, smash the problem, quick strike. So all these cards made this kind of new archetype of, hey, if I have a high attack value, I can be efficient in multiple ways. All right, so without further ado, let's talk about some of the heroes that really fit well into this strategy. Alright guys, so let's look at the top heroes that I think that will perform extremely well in this strategy. Alright, so I've tested this already with a few characters. I've done this with Hawkeye, which was super solid. I've done this strategy with Spectrum, again, amazing results. Captain America, Gamora, and Thor. So these guys there are very, very event focused, and it makes these decks really powerful. Most of them, because they can do other stuff except for just your action. So because she's super event focused, she can change forms, control threat. This is very combo-y, eh? So this is very combo-ish deck. You take your time, you set yourself up, you keep the villain under control, and then you just bash face for like insane amounts of damage and finish the game really quickly after you're set up. But again, it's gonna depend against what villains you're playing and stuff like that. And obviously, when I'm gonna be playtesting these decks to show you, I'm gonna be playing against more difficult villains that can kind of annoy you and kind of hinder your strategy. But still, it's gonna showcase like what these heroes can do with this super fun way to play. It's a different way to play because we don't really want to use our basic attack, and that is what's super important. To bring up our attack value very high, there's going to be some cards that we're going to need to keep in play, and if you do basic attacks, that card is going to get discarded. And I'm talking about Brute Force. The first time I saw that card, I was like, I think it came out in Quicksilver's deck. I'm like, oh my god, I know what I want to build for this. And my first idea was like, I was looking at this card. This is a Hulk card. This is 100% a Hulk card without events. And then I was thinking right away Crushing Blows, and I'm like, oh man, if there was another card like Crushing Blow, then you'd have more. And then they created Quick Strike, which again came in the Valkyrie pack, and then Smash the Problem. I'm like, so these are all cards that I'm like, ooh, this can make Hulk super fun and a different way to play. But again, why is Hulk not in here? It's just because he can't keep his hand at the end of the round. That's the only reason he didn't make the top 5. Because if he could keep his hand, it would be just even better. But again, it's Hulk, and we get Hulk what we get Hulk. All right, so other heroes that are super violent in this strategy. We're looking at Ant-Man. We're looking at Hulk. We're looking at Valkyrie. We're looking at Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Rocket Raccoon. We're looking at Groot. We're looking at Black Panther, Wasp. I'm missing spots here. Spider-Man. I'm just going to bring this up a little bit. I think I'll just bring my camera up a little bit higher. There you go. And then, all right, I got all my other cards here ready for my speeches. All right, so there you go. So these guys, and then finally, like cards like Nebula and Star-Lord and Venom. These guys can all rock this strategy extremely well. The attack matters is very, very fun. So this is going to be all the characters that I think that are just great with this strategy. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't play them all, but I just know with the card pool being what it is and what these guys can do, these are all going to be efficient. So I know I haven't tried Groot, I haven't tried Spider-Man, I haven't tried Star-Lord, I haven't tried Rocket Raccoon, but I know with the cards that they have, this strategy is just a no-brainer. It's you dilute your deck and then you do other cool stuff. So these are the main heroes that you want to be using that strategy. Now there's a couple of other heroes. Well, there's one more hero that would make the top 5, but because she plays so differently, it's Spider-Woman. She has the potential to really take this through the roof. And if you haven't seen my video, I actually did a deck building where I was showcasing, I think, problem solvers. I was aggression and justice with her. And again, just using brute force to just crank up my attack, quick strikes, and all that kind of stuff. So really, really fun with her because she can just increase her attack stats so much every time you play a different type of aspect card. So she is actually one of the best, actually the all-time best, to do this strategy with, because you can include stuff from those aspects and really increase her stats way more than anyone else. So Spider-Woman is pretty much the GOAT of that strategy. Now there's a couple of heroes you're like, well, Steve, how come you're not mentioning some of these guys? And the first one, Adam Warlock's not there because he can only have 1 copy of each card. So having 3, you can't have 3 brute forces. You're not going to get your attack level high enough. So that doesn't matter. Other guys like She-Hulk, Drax, and Quicksilver. Now the problem with these guys is they want to use their basic stuff, their basic actions all the time. Now could be an argument made that you could technically do it with Quicksilver because then you just kind of focus on his thwart while you build everything up, and then. But again, since he wants to use his attack, always be running. At one point, there's just no threat to remove, and it just becomes way less efficient. To have Quicksilver just, punch and lose the brute force, punch, lose. So that's why he didn't make the cut in the ones I really want to make. And then the other ones, again, I think their attacks are just a little too low to make this strategy actually viable. So these guys are kind of on like the sideline, but that's okay because so Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Ms. Marvel, Iron Man, these are guys that don't really make the cut. Vision probably could make the cut. I was looking at he's a 2/2, so Vision would probably definitely be able to make the cut without any too much of a problem for that. So that being said, so that is the top heroes. So let's take a look at the best cards to add in your deck to play this strategy. Well, obviously, you want to be adding 3 copies of Brute Force. Now, this card, again, this is the whole reason why you don't want to use basic attacks. It says your hero gets +1 attack. That's it. It automatically, you pay this, you get a +1 attack. But your basic attacks gain piercing, but you okay, so force response after you make a basic attack, discard brute force. So that is where you can't do your basic attacks, and that's why sometimes you need heroes that are more event focused while you set your combos up to do this. So this is definitely the best card. The second best card, obviously, is going to be Combat Training, because this is the card that is going to also increase your attack, but without any restrictions. So that, again, is going to make your hero just that +1 is going to matter while we do these next events. All right, the other best cards in this is going to be Quick Strike. So this is the payoff card. So this says deal damage to an enemy equal to your attack. So again, the higher you have, the higher your attack gets, the better it is. So you can do like for 2 with Hulk, I think you can get up to 8 attacks. That's so solid. 2 for 8. It's one of the most efficient cards. The other one, it's very, very solid. It is Smash the Problem. Again, now you can, even in multiplayer games, what you can do is you can just go in and exhaust your hero and then just remove 7 or 8 threat for 1. Now, there's nothing like that in the game. So again, this is super fun for a multiplayer card. It's also not bad for a solo card. Like, you can remove a side scheme. It's from any threat from a scheme. So there's nothing forcing you to do it off the main. So that's super solid. And then finally, this is a team up card. It is an alliance card. It is As One. Now this can just make the game broken. This is another super combo card with this. It says, exhaust an Avenger, exhaust a Guardian, and deal X damage to an enemy where X is the combined attack of all those characters. This attack gains overkill. So this way, like, you just need a Guardian and an Avenger. So we're looking at Marvel Boy, we're looking at Bug, we're looking... I prefer Bug... I prefer Marvel Boy than Bug, because Marvel Boy just has that +1 attack. And then when you equip a Sphere, an Enraged, and stuff like that, you can just really grow that card to its amazing potential. So, okay. So these are like the top best cards, obviously, for this strategy. Now, let's look at the other cards that fit into this strategy. All right, some of the other cards that we're going to look at is the best defense. Now, this is probably not for every character. That's why it's not in the top 5. It says when your hero defends against an attack, it uses its attack against it for its defense. So again, like if you're looking at Hawkeye, who's got 1 defense, but he's got, let's say, 6 attack, well, all of a sudden for 0, he can now defend for 6 while exhausted. So it's a way to keep him survivable, even though there's the villains attacking for a bunch. All right, so that's a good card for there. Again, it's not good at the beginning, but it's still pretty good. The other cards we really like is Moment of Triumph for this. Now, because, like I said, at some points you might have a guard minion and you just need to get through that guard minion, and then all of a sudden you have an attack of 8. You're like, man, I'm going to be wasting damage. Well, okay, waste the damage. You use your quick strike. And then just Moment of Triumph after that, and just heal up and just stay in hero form longer, and don't worry about your health so much. You just I can just regenerate and be like, I'm happy, yay. All right, other cards. These are more upgrades. Again, since we're not using our basic attack, we got to be smart about things. So cards like Lie in Wait, when a minion engages us. After a minion engages us, we have an attack that says discard Lie in Wait and deal 3 damage to that minion. So that's another super solid way to not having to do basic attacks. We can still focus on threat removal without having to, concentrate. Oh man, okay, so now I have to use this and I can't use this. So this is just a fun card. You can just put it on the table. Bam, it deals 3 damage to an enemy when it comes into play, engage with you. Which 3 damage on an enemy kills 80% of the minions in the game so far. All right, the other one is Battle Fury. All right, so you just use your base defense, and then you have a Battle Fury in play, and then you get Lie in Wait. Bang, a minion comes in. All of a sudden, you take a damage, you can ready yourself, and you've killed a minion. Because it is an attack, it would trigger after your hero attacks and defeats a minion. So Lie in Wait and Battle Fury are 2 cards that combo really, really good with this. And then again, your hero is ready to do other stuff. So he can thwart, he can do other things, just because, you got engaged with a minion. And again, these cards can just have 1 in the deck, and just when they pop off and they're useful. All right, so aside from that, because we want to be playing the As 1, because that is one of our most powerful cards, some of the upgrades that we definitely want to add to the deck is Enraged. But again, if we're going to do that, unless you're playing Doctor Strange with this attack matters strategy, and you can use Cosmo to never take any consequential damage, I wouldn't recommend attacking with your ally. But again, if you want to use Cosmo and you can manipulate the top card of your deck, because some characters can do that, then definitely do that. Definitely do it. If you're playing against Red Skull, man, you always know that there's a side scheme in that deck. So there's always ways to kind of play around with that. And then Enraged and Energy Sphere, you all of a sudden now your ally has an attack of 4, of 5, of 6 maybe. And then you're attacking, let's say you have an attack of 5 and he has an attack of 6. All of a sudden you're doing As 1 for 11 damage and with overkill. So you're just dealing with problems and pushing damage through to the boss. Again, this is a build-up strategy. It's not an optimal way to play, but it is a fun way to play. So just kind of remember that when I do these videos. All right. The other one, which is super interesting card as well, is Follow Through. Being able to add +1 when you do your overkills is always solid. Not only that, but it says excess damage. It also triggers with the Moments of Triumph. Even though you don't have overkill, as long as you're dealing excess damage, you would get the bonus for +1, even though you wouldn't have the overkill trigger. So that's super solid. Because we have a few of those weapons, Fusillade is another great card to add. I wouldn't say add 3 in the deck, but maybe have 1 in the deck. It's an easy 5 damage that you can deal to a minion to just keep yourself, in control of what the scenario is giving you. And then finally, Martial Prowess. Again, resource generation is the best. It pays for the as-1s. It pays for the quick strikes. So, what more could you want? So that is for like allies and upgrades. Now let's take a look at some of the allies. So some of the allies you definitely want to be playing is cards like Wasp with a 3 attack. And if you are playing one of the Guardian characters, you can give her an honorary Guardian. And then all of a sudden she's a 3 attack, 4 attack, 5, 6, 7 attack. You're like, wow, this Wasp is super strong. All right, so that's one of the great things about that. When you play in these types of damage matters strategies, it just makes everything more efficient. Again, my next favorite is Marvel Boy, just because if you need the piercing, he gets the piercing. But once you actually put an Enrage and an Energy Spear, he's really, really good for these strategies. So these are like some of my favorite allies. I also love Angela, except that she's a 2 attack and she's for free, but she does get you a minion. So I do like that, but it's still, depending on what scenario you're playing, it might be an include or not. So these are definitely my favorite characters to do that with. And then finally, the most expensive character I like to do this with is Thor. Thor, we've showcased this with Brian on Step Into the Portal, where we had Thor with an Enrage and an Energy Spear, I think. And then he was attacking and clearing like minions left and right. And then he was playing Doctor Strange and giving him a tough again. So Thor was attacking for like 5, 7, just losing his tough and just being like, I am mighty. So there you go. So those are like some of the best characters to play these with. You can always include Bug. For me, he's not my top choice, but he is okay. The thing is, he'll never heal because he'll never get he'll never heal the one because you're never making basic attacks because of you're setting your board up for that. Oh, I almost forgot. Yeah, there you go. And She-Hulk, because again, she can really increase her attack value as well, so she can get up to a 4 attack. Without any bonuses once she has like 3 consequence damage on her. So she starts a little low, so you can actually use her in the beginning and then just crank her up a little bit. And then obviously a card like a Boot Camp is always super solid. And then if you're going to add a Boot Camp and you don't need too many allies, even if you only have the 3 allies, you can use an ally like Tigra just to take care of minions nonstop. Once she has that Tigra with the Boot Camp, you don't have to worry about minions so much. So it depends how you want to play. Okay, so and again, we'll deck build for this type of situations where maybe I'd like to play more with preparations because I'm running Black Widow. But okay, I think I want to have like Avengers and Guardians. So I'm like, okay, so I'll put Avenger heroes with my Guardians. So then I have Guardians and heroes, and then I can use my allies like She-Hulk to do the as-1 and really increase that to the maximum. So these are definitely the best cards to really go into that strategy. But there's a lot of good basic cards as well that we want to look at to add into this. So let's go look at the basic cards for this strategy. All right, now let's look at the basic cards that I think are very, very efficient. Obviously, Honorary Guardian or Honorary Avenger. These are going to be 2 cards that are going to be key to comboing these triggers with a couple of cards. Again, they thin out your deck and they'll let you find those events that you're actually looking for way more often. And depending if you're a Guardian or if you're an Avenger, you'll be running the opposite to put on the other characters that you want to play. The other one is the Sidearm. Sidearm, it gives a +1 attack to an ally, and the ally's attacks gain ranged. So again, that's super solid. Putting this on Tigra with a Boot Camp, she's now attacking for 4. It's pretty insane. Even though if you're a guardian, you put the honorary guardian in the sphere, she's 6 with piercing. I'm like, she's killing everything and never dying. So again, this is some of these like little combos that are super fun to play in solo and multiplayer. Whatever, you start building the characters a little bit at a time, and it's just super fun. All right, the other ones that are very cool, again, it's a couple of other allies that are fun to build is Cosmo with the whole shebang. We all know how Cosmo works. And I love Drax in this. Again, you have to be a Guardian to play him. But he does have a 3 attack to start with. So again, with an energy spear, so he goes to 5, and rage goes to 7, 8, 9. So then once you have Drax with 9 attack, it's just crazy. All right, Drax, go. Kill the boss. You know, you can attack for 9. It's pretty crazy. And then you have first aids, because then sometimes you do want to use those attacks. Like, he's got 4 health. Perfect. He's attacking for 9 with range. Yeah, just let him loose. Attacks do matter. And then it's just like if you want to pay off with the as ones. But you don't need all of that to make everything work. And then finally, Avengers Tower and Nowhere. Basically, again, depending on what hero you're running. The cool thing is if you're a Guardian, you can actually run Avengers Tower. Even though you're a Guardian, so you can still have like 4 Avenger allies. And you're a Guardian, so you can still kind of play off that. Unfortunately, if you have Nowhere, if you are an Avenger, you can't play Nowhere. So it's kind of like a mix about that. But again, this type of build is super fun and very efficient, very fast. So if you look at the characters that we're talking to play these with, these are all characters that can thwart for 2, defend, and do other things. Have all these options to do other things while you build up this stage, and then you just go ham crazy on the villain in like an explosive final turn. Again, not the most optimal way to play, but definitely super fun to play. And then again, this is the aspect strategy that I think I enjoy the most out of aggro, just because it's just super fun. It's basically attack matters, your allies' attack matter, your attack matters, everything matters. And then again, just focusing everything on the basics, on your basic attack. It's okay. It's a strategy, but it's not the strategy we're going to explore here. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please share and like in the comments. Just let me know what you think of the strategy. Again, thematic, not optimal. So, and definitely let me know if you want to try this out, because I think that's what I'm going to do for this video, as I'm actually going to be playing a 2-player game, solo 2-player, so we can actually feed off each other. I'm going to play 2 different types of heroes, and I'll put them together, and then, it might be a little weird because I don't have 6 brute forces. But again, I'll figure it out. I'll just make proxies of some of the other cards, or maybe I'll see if I can get somebody else to play with me and do a double whammy of this, and then you can kind of see like, ooh, this is pretty cool. It works, and it does tons of damage, and it's just fun to play. All right, so guys, hope you guys like this video. Share, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the playthrough of Attack Matters. All right, there we go. Keep on playing Marvel Champions, and hope this video will help you beat the game.